On today's show, it's all about your drain maintenance in Houston.
Who told you we're plumbers? We're plumbers.
John Eccles.
Richard Sod, why do you need it? Why do you want it? When's the right time to do it?
Now is the time to do it.
That's the questions of the day. When? When it's overflowing? It's on the ground? Outside, bubbling up? Inside, spreading out? When's the right time to do it, John?
Well, let's talk about it. Okay, so when we're talking about drain maintenance, we're talking about, we're going to try to discuss some tips, some tidbits on help y'all realize when is it time to address it, when it's too late. All these things happen, right? When customers when customers call us with stoppages, it's normally they've waited a little too long. It was something that could have probably been alleviated a little earlier, or it's just like anything else, right? If you let your brake pads go too long, it can get into the rotors. Same thing here. The longer you let it go, worse things happen.
I think that's called reactive instead of proactive. That's what you're describing today,
exactly
right?
That's exactly right. So
you can wait for failure,
or you can get it before.
Yes,
I mean, when your drains are slow or sluggish and you notice that, that's when you want to call and get it addressed at that point. If not, you're playing with the time bomb of a sewer backup that could come back up into the house, and that happens a lot. And when that does happen, now you're talking about possible damage to flooring, walls, other things in the home. If it's upstairs, coming through the ceiling. There's some different things that can happen.
That sounds like insurance.
Yeah. Hey, number one insurance claim.
That's right. Number one.
Yeah.
In the state of Texas.
A lot of people tend to think that, if it backs up, it's going to go into the tub. But what else can happen?
Oh, it can go on the floors. Underneath the hardwood floors.
Yeah.
And that's really nasty biohazard stuff when it goes underneath your hardwood floors.
Yeah, it's a big, big deal at that point. It's a big headache for our customers. So what we're going to talk about is okay, so how do we not let that happen? Well, first of all, if you notice that there's any sort of a irregularity in your plumbing system, right? Hey, my sink's draining slow, my commode's not going down as fast, my shower's draining slow. Those are the times that you need to start calling. Not when, it won't drain at all. Don't get me wrong, we can still take care of it, but you're putting yourself on that ledge that you don't want to be pushed off of. And I think this all starts with, customers putting things that necessarily aren't supposed to go down their drainage system, and they put it down there. That's one of the number one reasons that we get phone calls about things being backed up. From the kitchen area, putting stuff down to the disposable kitchen pipes that we've talked about numerous times, bones, peelings, pastas,
rice,
grease, all those things are not designed to go down your kitchen pipe. Not at all. They should be scraped off into the trash can. Then you go into the bathroom. Everybody loses hair when they shower, right?
Yeah, look at mine. Look at that, guys. It all went down the drain.
Well, the good thing is that they have catchers, and you need to empty those so it doesn't get down the drain. You need to empty them and pull it out, throw it in the trash can. Now, things that will go down the pipe that end up, what's the word? I can never say it.
Coagulating.
Into the pipe, soap scum, different hair products, stuff like that, you can't do nothing about. That's going to go. Those are the things that is normal. You go to the commode, no toys, right? No toys.
No toys. That's right. No army men.
Yeah, none of that. It should be for, human,
waste.
Human waste. And toilet paper.
That's the proper term.
And that's it. Anything other than that, it shouldn't be down there,
No baby wipes.
Oh, no baby wipes for sure.
No old man wipes.
No, none of that. No.
Paper towels?
Nope.
No.
We get that a lot at restaurants.
We get a lot of that in
At
restaurants. We do.
Yeah, customers put down paper towels because it's not their drain. So,
That's exactly right.
but
That helps to our production.
yeah, and so with that being said, all those things create slow, sluggish drains or immediate stoppages. So if you don't put those down there, then okay, you've alleviated a huge portion of okay, I'm maintaining my system. Go ahead.
Another thing that makes a difference is, do you have cast iron? Do you have concrete?
That's the next
Do
point.
you have clay?
Absolutely.
Versus PVC. If you're in an older home, let's talk about Heights, Montrose, Westview, Meyerland, Bel Air, Memorial going through. These homes are built pre-70s, most of them. And from that standpoint, you guys are going to have cast iron, you're going to have clay, you're going to have concrete. And those two materials are porous, right? They grab things more.
Yeah.
Same with the cast iron. Cast iron is not porous, but it grabs and grips things more than what PVC does.
Yeah, that pipe is not extremely smooth.
Your maintenance will look different from somebody that's in a newer home with PVC. So in saying that, right, you've got to take more precaution, more care, and when you start seeing things get sluggish before you have a complete shutdown, you need to call somebody like us, or you're going to attempt it yourself.
That's right.
But it's not going to fix itself. That's the thing with plumbing. It doesn't fix itself. You have to address it. You just can't push it and expect for that to go away.
That's right.
Because it's not. And in these older homes, you also could have root intrusion in your main line outside in your sewer. And when you have root intrusions, toilet paper will pack up on those roots, and eventually you will get a complete shutdown. But the typical sign of that is your toilet becomes sluggish.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
It will not flush normal. And you didn't even put anything in the toilet, and it's not flushing normal.
That's right.
That's when you know to call somebody like us. And if you are going to be reactive on this, you get a complete shutdown on the system, then it goes into the tub, or it starts spreading out underneath toilets.
Yeah.
And that's when it gets really bad, where it can go into walls and go underneath hardwood floors.
That's right.
So you're much better off being proactive.
That's right.
Right? When you start seeing those telltale signs. So what's another sign, John? Let's talk about kitchen sink drains. We've got grease going down them.
Right.
That coagulate and grip that pipe.
Absolutely.
And all of your food particles, particulates, will go down, right?
Right.
And then those get stuck in grease, and it becomes a nasty mess. I don't know if you guys have ever seen anything that comes out of that kitchen sink drain, but it is a black, nasty, coagulated mess.
You know, people that use a lot of grease, it'll even almost calcify. It'll become a solid.
It does.
Yeah, it'll come out in like literally logs.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And it's really hard to clear.
Oh yeah.
You know, we got to use typically a couple different type of machines to get that clear.
That's right.
So on your kitchen sinks, when you start seeing that it is becoming sluggish, you definitely need to get that rectified now before that nasty water just comes up in the sink and stays.
That's right.
And doesn't go down. So let's talk about AC drain lines.
Well, see, you're talking about
now it's the season.
You're talking about sluggish, right? If you live in Houston, there's a great chance that you went to your lavatory and went, oh man, it's not draining real well. Why is that? I haven't even been using it, or I never let the hair go down. I never do X, Y, Z, blah, blah. But some reason why it won't drain, I don't get it. Water's coming up. Normally that water's cold.
That's the best one. We get calls all the time, you guys, that, hey, this is in my guest bathroom. Nobody's ever used it, and there's water coming up in my lavatory. Yeah. Well, that's because the AC drain line is coming down, and it's stopped up that pipe, and now there's nowhere for the water to go. It just keeps backing up, and eventually what could happen is it overfills that lavatory and spills out on the floor.
That's right.
And that's going to happen usually when you're not home, and it's usually going to happen when it's upstairs. And when you come home, it's going to be raining downstairs.
Yeah.
We get those often during the summer.
Yeah. And we're heading right into that season.
And when it doesn't happen to you, you never think about it. But you need to do AC maintenance. It's the season.
Yes.
Do it now, do it in the middle, and do it at the end.
Yep.
right?
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, going into the season, now's a great time to go ahead and take that precaution to go ahead and address those drain lines and maybe go ahead and have it serviced, make sure that everything's clear, it's going to run okay. You know, along with that, right, you know, there's a great products, right? There's tons of products that you can use for this kind of stuff. There's only one that we're going to recommend, but you can use a bunch of different products to do it. The one that we recommend is an organic product called Bio One. You know, when we're going to do something like this, especially we're going to put something in our plumbing system that's going to end up somewhere else, going through our water treatment facility, stuff like that, we think that it should be a green product, and it works great.
Works awesome.
Awesome product. You know, we talk about this all the time. We were cooking one time in the warehouse, spilt a bunch of grease, and it ate up all of it. It's a long story, but we should have videoed it if we would have thought about it. But it's a really good product, works to a T. And what's really cool about it is that it's actually enzymes that are kind of put in this, what's the state that I'm talking about? Where it's like a resting state, basically. So they're not active.
Right.
And they get activated when they hit water.
And they start eating.
That's right, and they multiply, and they
Big
start
time.
eating, and they multiply, and they eat, and they eat, and they eat
And
until
they liquefy the grease basically in the food.
Man, it's unbelievable.
Fantastic
It's
product.
unbelievable. And it works well with the AC drain lines. You know, we've tried it. On their bottle, it doesn't recommend it, but we've called the manufacturer, and they said absolutely. And I've actually used it personally at my home. I have this problem every year, so I'm one of the guys
Me
that
too.
I have to maintain mine if I don't want my wife's side to stop up. And it's a wonderful product to put down prior to and during. You know, I mean, maintenance isn't something that you can only do, you know, once a year. Well, on some things you do, but on your drains and stuff like that, it really comes down to the amount of use. And we all know that Houston, air conditioning, summertime, we're using it 24/7. 24/7.
My AC stops up 2 to 4 times a summer.
Yep, yeah.
And I started using the Bio One product. It's awesome. Don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I go pour a little bit of in there once a month. Done.
You know when I have a problem?
When you don't maintain.
That's exactly right. If I don't treat it, you know, like if I don't treat it in the spring, I'll have a summer problem for sure.
Yeah.
If I'm proactive, last year I was pretty proactive. I didn't do it. I didn't have one. The year before that, I think like I had 4 or 5 AC stoppages because
I always tell everybody do it. Pour it once a month.
Yeah.
And you can use Clorox too.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
a
do
good
it
one.
once a month, right? And that will keep your AC drain running well.
Yep.
Typically all summer. And keep us away from getting you unstuck.
You know, that Bio One's actually a good product to use in all your drains if you're talking about maintain.
Yeah.
If you're doing what we're talking about, not putting the stuff in there that doesn't belong, but you drop it down your shower drain, all that soap scum and stuff, it really, really aids in keeping that thing pretty pristine. Same thing with your kitchen line. It really aids in keeping stuff moving, you know.
And talking about shower drains, you know, and when you get a slow shower drain, there's also something else that happens to showers, you guys. And you guys, sometimes a horrific smell comes out of a shower drain.
Oh, yeah.
And when that water is pushing down in the drain, it's pushing air up. And if you smell something, you know, typically that's going to be bacteria holding in that pipe right there. And it smells bad. But people think it's sewer.
Right.
But it's actually not. But that's part of drain maintenance.
Yeah.
If you smell that, you need to do maintenance immediately because that is going to be some type of bacteria that is growing and eating that coagulated mess that's located in the P-trap coming up towards the pipe. And that happens often too, you guys, to where that smell, and there's ways that you can clear that smell, and one of them is the Bio One.
Yeah, absolutely.
It will eat that other bacteria and the problem, and then they'll be flushed down the drain.
That's it. Send you going.
That's right.
But so, you know, in conclusion, I think, you know, what we're saying is if you keep your drain free of things that don't belong, right, if you call prior to it becoming a big issue, a lot of times your drain system won't be a big problem for you unless you have something that's not a maintenance thing. Root intrusion, right, you have a tree getting in there, you got old pipes that collapse. Those are things that you can't maintain. They just happen over
right.
time. But if you maintain them, hopefully you won't be seeing this too much.
That's right.
But if you do need help, we're always a phone call away.
That's exactly right. Any questions, concerns, give us a call. We're always there. most of the time, or at least one of us. Thank you very much, you guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.